Okay, welcome back to Digital DNA Glasgow. This is the last chat just before we start packing up at the end of the day. I'm with the CEO of Digital DNA, Simon Bailie. Simon, thank you ever so much for joining us. Simon, tell us about the event today. How did you feel it went?
I think it was good. I think the energy was great. I think the startup area was buzzing as always. Thanks to you guys.
No, thank you.
It was all good. Yeah, look, super excited. First year in Glasgow, year zero, as I mentioned earlier. Some really exciting startups happening.
Yep.
Some in the space generally, and the variety, Al. I think the variety of startups that we had here
Big
today
style.
was amazing. And even there was quite a few startups floating around.
Yep.
That didn't actually get on the final 14. So
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Bodes well for the future.
I'm trying to think of obviously the vibe that I was getting across from the startups, and obviously there was a couple of things that I was picking up on. One was even though Glasgow and Edinburgh are only 20, 30 miles apart, there is a kind of
maybe a bit more,
maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. I'm not very good with geography anyway, Simon. You know me. But in terms of obviously the networking piece, there's still a lot to do, isn't there, to joining the dots between the Glasgow and the Edinburgh scenes. And obviously, I think that's something that we can hopefully help with down the line. Even if it is that networking piece, if it is that kind of pitch competitions and joining the dots that way. So I'm kind of really enthused about the enthusiasm that was shown for us being in Glasgow today. And how did that vibe come across with the rest of the event?
Yeah, that's just walking around talking to people. I came over to Glasgow, almost 12 months ago on a bit of got a cheap EasyJet flight, flew over, set up a few meetings, spoke to a few people, and realized there was nothing here. There was some events and really good events, really good community-led events, but there was nothing quite like what we do at Digital DNA, which is bring the whole ecosystem together. There were startup focused events. There were proper corporate software led events. There were very niche sectorial events, but there was nothing that really joined all that up. And like this is what we do, Al. This is what we do. So we just jumped at the opportunity. We were a bit bullish with what we could do. I was scared, genuinely scared, because you're coming into a venue that hosted COP26.
Yeah.
But no, generally walking around, everyone seemed to be, excited. It was something different. It was something unique. That was the one, different and unique was probably the two words that stand out to me.
Yeah.
People were able to talk, network. Some of the talks were fantastic, like so well attended.
Yeah.
Because we never quite know how that's going to work out until you actually see people sitting down.
Well, that's another difference actually that I've noticed, and that this is not. I mean, the Belfast event, the networking opportunity is phenomenal, and I think that's something that will be built upon obviously here in Glasgow as well, is that networking piece. But what I really noticed is the value that people were putting on the actual talks and also the themes of those talks. They were going because they were very specifically interested in that subject, which I think is really good for the future here in Glasgow.
Yeah, and I think we've worked really hard with a lot of, we've identified quite a few stakeholders, quite a few community leaders to really drill down into the clusteral strengths, because no two cities are the same. We identified early on that the greater Glasgow region they've got a really good, strong cluster of ed tech, space tech. These are things that may not be as prevalent in other areas. So that then translated onto what happened on stage, and I think that came through. We had some phenomenal talks around the future of space tech, which just blew my mind. I still can't quite believe that they're launching rockets on the west coast of Scotland, but it's really good.
Amazing. If you can hear banging in the background, that's because you will see a seamless organisation like this basically quickly swoop in, and within half an hour, this venue will be cleared again, and it's incredible to see it happening. Yeah. Simon, just to double check that it's not as fast for you to set up, what time did you start yesterday, or was it even the day before yesterday?
No, we were in. So today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we were on site at 7 a.m. yesterday morning, and we actually got away about 7 p.m. last night.
Amazing.
So the guys are starting to do breakdown around us, and we might actually get lifted off.
We might have to start wearing hard hats. So all I would say on that point is, Simon, well done, congratulations
Cheers,
to the
Al.
DNA
Thank
team.
You.
Obviously, we play a small part in this. We've started pissing the work that we do, but the DNA team, the Digital DNA team, take a brave risk doing events, and obviously it's not an easy time to do things like this. It's not just turning up. It's the 6 to 9 months of planning that goes into this. So congratulations, Simon. A great work, great job done again. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. And like, you know, whilst I've got the mic, you know, huge thank you to Al and all the guys who started us, and obviously the guys in my team as well. You know, you know, I just get to do these nice things. But it's really all those guys that on the day just are. It's so seamless the way they just put themselves into it.
Yeah, big stuff.
And allows me to go around and talk to people and drink lots of coffee.
Oh, lots of coffee. And I have to say, we're going to go to Barclays Eagle Labs now.
Oh, yes.
Awesome for a little pint. I'm coming along.
It's actually a preview because the official opening is next week.
Okay, cool.
So this is an official preview.
Amazing.
Unofficial preview, maybe?
So go check out Barclays Eagle Labs in Glasgow as well. It's a great part to the ecosystem that's going to be here.
Massively
really
valuable.
important, obviously, and we've got one in Belfast as well, Lisa Bailie as well. Obviously, the team there, Jenna, is part of the Omar Baths team. That networking piece and that kind of opportunity to kind of learn and benefit from all the things that a bigger organization can add is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. And, you know, like literally just to wrap up, you know, bringing all the corporates and everyone together, with the startups and the academia, it's critical.
I have to say as well, the sponsors and the corporates that are here in the room were the most welcoming in terms of obviously they're interested in what people are doing. So like big high fives to them.
They genuinely want to help. You know, corporates, FDIs, they get a hard rap, but genuinely they do want to help and they do want to see the ecosystem as a whole grow. And they you know, they're just excited to be part of it as much as, you know, a startup that's maybe 2 years into their journey.
Rock and roll. So listen, that's the end of Digital DNA Glasgow. We'll hope to be back, and obviously thank you again to Simon and the team. Next autumn, bring it on. Put it in your diary now. So
Hot
we'll
off the
chat to you
press.
soon.
Hot off the press.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Al.
Right. Nice one, dude.
Happy enough.